This is Russia. It's immense. It can't fit on a single page. This nation spans more than 100 languages across 11 different time zones. I mean, the size of this place is astonishing. Countries aren't typically expected to be this large. So how did this happen? How did Russia become so incredibly large? Countries vary greatly in size. For instance, in Europe, Monaco is exceptionally small at just 2 square kilometers smaller than most cities. Belgium, on the other hand, is more average-sized at around 11,000 square kilometers. Moving to larger countries, France spans about 550,000 square kilometers. In the United States, known for its size, there are states larger than France. Texas covers 695,000 square kilometers. All 48 continental states are vast by European standards, collectively spanning 8 million square kilometers. Amidst these varying sizes, Canada stands out as the second largest country on Earth, characterized by its immense size. But consider the magnitude of the largest country on the planet. Russia is vast. It exceeds the size of the continental United States by more than double, totaling 17 million square kilometers. This area constitutes 1/8 of the inhabitable land on Earth. It's nearly twice as large as the next largest country on this list. Truly astonishing. Russia is situated in Europe. It also has a coastline adjacent to Turkey. Moving further east, it shares extensive borders with China and North Korea. Continuing northward, it stretches to the point where one could potentially swim from Russia to the United States, a distance of about 2.5 miles, assuming one can swim. So, indeed, Russia is enormous, truly gigantic. But not too long ago, Russia wasn't expansive. In fact, compared to other empires and their territories, Russia was rather insignificant. That's the story I'd like to share with you. 1,000 years ago, Russia resembled a loose coalition of Slavic peoples thriving in Eastern Europe, though they faced a significant vulnerability. Expansive flat grasslands that facilitated easy invasion routes for armies seeking to plunder. This vulnerability was exploited by a group of horse-riding warriors known as the Mongols, who used these grasslands to expand their empire across Asia. Eventually, a force of 40,000 Mongol warriors armed with bows and arrows reached the Slavic peoples of Russia, invading cities and imposing their rule. The Mongol conquest left the Slavic society fractured, disrupting the collaboration among their cities and subjecting them to Mongol taxation from a distant empire on the other side of the world. However, amidst this upheaval, one city in particular began to quietly strengthen itself in readiness to resist. This city, eventually known as Moscow, emerged as a key center for fur trading, a burgeoning industry that was gaining popularity in Europe. Moscow also adopted gunpowder and firearms from Europe, enabling them to resist the expanding Mongol Empire, which was becoming increasingly difficult to manage and showing signs of cracking. Moscow seized the opportunity and began pushing the Mongols eastward. As Moscow transformed into the Russian Empire, they vowed not to be caught off guard again like they were by the Mongols. European skeptics suggested that only mountains and water could provide true protection, to which the Russians responded by expanding towards these natural barriers. They developed a robust economy based on fur trade, advanced technologically, and prospered. Moscow successfully repelled the Mongols, expanded eastward, and established a substantial empire with natural borders. However, their search for a secure eastern boundary continued until a guy called Ivan the Terrible came to power. Ivan aimed to expand Russia beyond the mountains, leading to the conquest of Siberia, a sparsely populated icy land where resistance was minimal. The harsh cold posed the greatest challenge, yet it also brought valuable furry animals whose pelts were highly prized in European markets. This lucrative fur trade fueled Russia's relentless eastward expansion until they reached the Pacific Ocean. But here's what's most fascinating about Russian imperialism, which sets it apart from many other imperial endeavors. When encountering tribes, peoples or cultures vastly different from their own due to the immense distance from Moscow, Russians initially sought negotiation and persuasion to bring them into the Russian Empire. If resistance occurred, typical imperialism followed swiftly. However, many tribes found it advantageous to join this expanding empire, resulting in its growth with minimal conflict. As a result, numerous cultures maintained their identities, languages, and traditions far from Moscow. Today, Russia is not just a vast landmass, but a diverse mosaic of 85 territories. Among these, 22 are designated as republics, each with its own official language, legislature, and substantial autonomy from Russia except in international affairs. Essentially, these republics function like individual countries within a larger nation, each with its own distinct character. So, while Russia is indeed vast and unified in some respects, it also comprises a multitude of diverse versions of itself. And I want to tell you some of those. Let's delve into the Republic of Sakha, situated in the far east of Russia, and it's immense, spanning 3.1 million square kilometers. This region operates on a time zone 6 hours ahead of Moscow. The people here are notably different from the typical Russian stereotype. Many trace their ancestry outside of the original Moscow-Russia area, and they speak their own Northern Siberian Turkic language. The capital of this republic, Yakutsk, is located in one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, with an average temperature of -8 degrees Celsius. Interestingly, the region is renowned for its extensive diamond mining operations. Approximately 25% of the world's diamonds are extracted from this republic, making it a significant player in the global diamond industry. This unique combination of geography, climate, culture, and economic activity highlights the diversity and complexity within Russia itself. Next, let's explore Dagestan, which borders Azerbaijan and Georgia. Unlike the stereotypical Russian climate, Dagestan experiences hot and dry weather. The region is linguistically diverse, with 13 official languages besides Russian, alongside numerous unofficial languages. Surprisingly, 83% of the population here identifies as Muslim, highlighting the religious diversity within Russia. Another fascinating region is Tuva. Here, Russian ethnicity and language are in the minority. The local population has stronger cultural ties to Mongolian heritage, speaking a Turkic language known as Tuvan. This cultural richness and diversity within Russia highlight the mosaic of identities and histories present across its vast territories. So, what's clear here is that Russia encompasses a vast array of regions and cultures, each unique yet part of the broader Russian identity. As Russia expanded in search of borders and fur, it absorbed numerous peoples and cultures along the way. It's important to note that while Russia is enormous, this video isn't 5 hours long, so I've provided a brief overview of its history and the diversity of its cultures and languages. The history of Russia is incredibly complex and diverse. I'm sure many of you watching might be thinking of parts of Russia that I haven't mentioned, perhaps regions that are particularly interesting or surprising, and different from this stereotypical image of Russia. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What parts of Russia do you find the most intriguing or unexpected in terms of their diversity and unique characteristics? Let me know.